sprint. Sprinting when idle. This is, by the way, a very cool pose, just to have it as weapon prepared or something. Letting go of shift, jumping and sprinting. It goes back into aiming. Okay, and everything is set up. Hello and welcome back to my AGR Pro tutorials. First of all, I haven't made many changes. This is just an example map from one of the packs from Marketplace, which is called Polygon Prototype. It's very cheap and I cannot say how happy I am with it. It's a very simple blockout tool that allows you to very fast create very simplified map that well explains what is your aim goal for the level that you want to have playable. And for the character that we have so far in our tutorial series, I haven't done any changes that we haven't talked about in the previous tutorials. I haven't made changes to the setup of the entire Anim graph. However, I made some small improvements, like for example now in unarmed pose you have directional blend space instead of the original one. So you have separated stop states and separate movement states. So it blends better with the stop animation and that blends better with idle. I've changed some of the settings regarding turn in place, and I also changed settings for what happens when you right click. Now you have a zoom on the camera. With C you can still change the shoulder of the camera. With C hold you can go into first person mode, and it works generally the same. If you press 2 you go back to the rifle mode and it works as it did before. So it is still a bit lacking, but it's not so bad. And here I am no longer using camera based aim. Now it is based on a controller rotation. So this is how it looks, and it works in generally a lot better. Still got the same sounds. I also made landing, so you have this landing that we already established in one of the videos, but now for the rifle I also have a landing. It is additive, so we have this error in the hands, and this is the first thing that we're going to fix. Okay, so let's fix first of all this error. So this landing, it should be additive but not full body, it should be only on the lower body. So let's jump in, let's go to our skeletal mesh, let's find our main Anim graph, let's open it. And we now have only one slot for our montages, so we have to make new slots. So we go into Anim slot manage, and you can open it in any animation asset. So it can be animation blueprint or animation or whatever you have right now. And if you don't see this window, just go into window and you should have it somewhere around here. Yeah, Anim slot manager here. So you can now add new slots and new groups. So we have this default group, which is fine for us. We don't really care about the naming, and we're going to make a new slot, and this slot will be called upper body. And another one that will be called, you know what? I would actually even rename this one to upper body. And we're going to say that, you know what? Close. We're going to do it differently. Default slot will be renamed to full body, and okay, what's he saying? The following montages contain slot. Remove or change the reference item to proceed. Oh my god. I would have to do it by hand? That's terrible. Okay, so we'll just add slots. I thought that if you rename the slot, it will just rename all the assets that it's being used, but no such luck. And full body. Okay, and this is everything we need right now. Just save it. Okay, so this is the default slot. We're not going to be using this anymore. This is the final base post, so the final post that we are using right now. So we want to copy this, make two of those. One will be responsible for upper body, one will be responsible for lower body. And because any animation that you have, any montage at all, so if we go into just do filter, animations, Anim montage. So any montage that we created, so one of those, it can actually play multiple animations in multiple slots. So you can add the same animation here on a parallel track, and you can specify another slot for the animation. So the other slot might be, one would be upper body and one would be lower body, and this way you have full body. But it's good to have separated slots. I like to have full body as a separate one as well. So what we need here is taking upper body and lower body, and now we need to blend them. And we want to do layer blend per bone. So the base will be the lower body, not the upper body actually. And the upper body will be the extra one, which is the blend pose 0. So for the upper body, what we need is, say that it's mesh space rotation blend, yes. Mesh space scale blend, yes. And then we're adding bones to blend, and we will start at spine 0, 1. And because blend depth 0 means the exact bone that we specified, so this first one, we want to say that the max blend depth would be 2 unless we are using virtual bones. But if we are not using virtual bones, let's make sure that it's 2. And this way it blends really nicely. Okay, we just put it here and push this to our results, but we can also say that we might want this full body blend, and we might also want, for some reason, to have default slot as well, and go into result. Now, just in case, for all of those blends, we will say always update source pose. Compile, save. Like this updates always anyway, so it doesn't matter. However, if we play any full body or default slot montage, it will stop refreshing this pose. It will re-enter the stop animations once more, which we do not want. Okay, and one more very small thing I wanted to fix was, if I go here into standing idle stop animation, and here, yeah, we want to do it 0.4 and this 0.5 even. Let's see. Okay, a lot better. So this is done, our blueprint of Mockup Pro, this is done, and we can now test it. So we go to our character, and we go into landing that I've added, and here, this is the old one, this is the landing for rifle. So if, okay, here, it switches by base pose. So if my base pose is Locomotion Pro, I do one of those depending on velocity. But if it is Rifle Pro, I always do this one. So I can go to all those landing montages. I have 3 of those. Okay, so hard will be slot full body, save. Hard additive will be lower body, and this jump will be full body as well. And now we need to find the rifle one, so just click here. Okay, we are using this for rifle. Oh, we maybe were using wrong animation for the rifle. Let's go. That would explain why the additive is not looking so good. So let's go into here and say Anim montage. Okay, we got this one. Okay, this should work a lot better now that it's the proper animation. And let's keep it in the default slot, which means that it should run full body. Yeah, it looks a lot better. And in first person, yeah, the hands are still where they should be. However, if we now go into this animation and we change default slot to new slot, which is just the lower body, save it, it will now play a bit differently. You see that the top pose is no longer affected by it. So in our first person, we are unaffected by the landing. You can see that we land, but our gun is still where it should be. Okay, so this works. So we got now proper landing that looks good, and we can play upper body and lower body animations that can be additive or not, and we have all our slots set up. Okay, so let's now start working on our first person animations that we want to blend together, but maybe let's just go through all the features that we have right now. So just a quick sum up, we have this character. This character can turn in place, he can walk, obviously, he has sounds and particles on footsteps, we can switch our shoulder, we have smooth camera zoom and zoom out, and we can go into first person, and we have this proper first person IK aim offset, which is very responsive and just works great with our full body mesh. So we got a full body single mesh, no separated hands, no second mesh. Everything is just running on this character, and everything works on multiplayer. So this is our starting point. Let's add first person animations. Okay, so what we want to do is want to use the overlay system that we have implemented in AGR Blueprints and AGR Pro. So here right now we are switching poses by this tag, which is called base pose, but we have also overlay pose, which is just unused right now. So we need to do a new state machine, and we'll call it overlay, and we'll save this pose, call it overlay pose. Okay, keep it here, and this is the start of our entire graph, so it will be on this side. And now here we no longer use base pose, we use overlay pose. And this overlay pose, when you enter, you have the entry, and the entry is just base pose. So right now really nothing changed. If we hit play, we are getting the same results. We can switch poses, and everything works as it did. Okay, but now I want to say that there is a conduit, and to enter this conduit we need to do two things. First of all, we go into Anim states, we say overlay pose is a valid tag. Okay, so if we have overlay pose that is just any overlay pose, because if we want to invalidate something, like invalidate a pose, we can always say set overlay pose, right? And we can set it to nothing, and we can still do that because nothing is just invalidating the variable, which is also useful information for our graph. So this is exactly the state that we have right now. So it can enter conduit only if it doesn't have a valid tag, and if it does, it goes into conduit. If it doesn't, it goes back. So overlay pose valid tag not means you need to return here. But from here, can you enter transition? You can always enter transition, and you can have overlay poses. So this is exactly what we're going to do. So I've added to my project Iron Belly animation set, which is well, it is the best one that you have on the marketplace right now for Unreal, but it's not not very good when it comes down to how the assets are being prepared. But at least the animations are not very much lacking, like all the hands animations. Let's say we will do let's maybe start with this hand cannon. So we have animations already have montages, so we can go into, let's say, idle, right? We can see our full posture that we have, and here are the hands. And we also have the IK bone already set up, which is super important and very helpful, because it will help with our virtual bones. However, the IK position of the IK handgun is default because it's being compensated by the idle animation of the gun itself. And this is the bad part about it, because the gun itself, it's let's go to weapon, hand cannon, and let's go into idle. Okay, that took forever. So you can see that because the IK handgun bone wasn't moved in the animation of the hands, which it should, the animation of the gun itself is compensating for it and moving the gun. So it should be exactly the opposite. Like, we should take this transform and remove it from the gun and apply it to IK handgun, and would be the same position. But what does matter for us is that this IK bones relation is well done, so we can use our virtual bones setup for it. So we're going to use this, and we're going to make a new, let's go back here, let's go into animations, or actually even go into blueprints, and here we're going to do a new animation blueprint. Oh, and I'm going to do one more thing. Go into mannequin, find all the skeletons. So this is the rifle one, so the one that we're using. Okay, this guy. Okay. Like, we have a lot of duplicate assets that we need to just delete, because we need just one of those. Okay, we got this guy. So now we go to our Iron Belly, and I need to check one more thing. Not animations, it will be in meshes, I guess. Arms, SK FPS arms. Okay, so it got a custom skeleton. Let's see if it has any changes. Here everything looks stock. Camera mount bone, but it's 000. So what's the point of having that one? No idea. It's just head basically, and it has this extra bone, but it's not using it, I guess. Yep, it's just using IK. Preview animation. Let's preview any idle animation. Okay, so this one is moved properly. Those two are moved, and this one is not used anymore. Okay, so we can either retarget animation, so we can just delete this skeleton and say that we want to retarget anything and everything regard the hands to this mannequin. So replace all references, save everything, thank you. And now we need to fix up redirection in the folder. It will reload all the assets and fix all the references to the animations of the hands. And he finally finished. Okay, so we now have all those hands meshes reference to reparented to our skeleton, and yeah, we can now use all the animations. So we can go into our folder, into blueprints, and make finally a new animation blueprint. So we don't need to use our AGR core anim instance for it, because this will be a subgraph. So it will take all the variables from the parent graph. So it's just anim instance, and our skeleton is the mannequin skeleton. Okay, and we call it animation blueprint underscore hand cannon overlay. Okay, so this subgraph will be a bit different than the ones we walked before, because what we want to do instantly is add an input pose. And input pose, it can have additional variables set here directly that we can just link here, or we can just use variables as variables that we set up in this entire graph. So in this input pose, we get a pose from the graph that is above us, and we're going to do some stuff to it. So now we want to take our hand cannon, let's say hand cannon idle, just idle position for the gun, blend, layer blend per bone, and the input pose is the base pose, and the blend is our hand cannon, and the blend is mesh space rotation and scale, and we are blending two things. One is spine 01 with blend depth of 4 if we are using virtual bones, and second one, also very important, is that we need to blend hand IK hand root. So we want to blend all our hands. Curve blend options. Okay, and we're taking, if we have same curves on both the base pose and our poses, we want to overwrite with our poses. So that's fine. And we don't do anything else. So right now our anim graph looks like this, which is already looking a bit like it should. Okay, so let's now take our guy. Where's our blueprint? Okay, mockup characters, that's our guy, and we want to activate this pose somehow. So we go into our event graph, and it's just a temporary thing, so we'll just leave this 1 and 2 intact, and we'll say 3. And on 3 we want to just take Anim master, we want to set overlay pose and set it to something that we don't yet have. Okay, so we go into our example tags, and we just add a new tag, and we call it whatever we want, but we want to call it animation overlay and hand cannon. Okay, so we want to set it exactly to this overlay hand cannon, and we're not really doing anything else here, and just saving. So we're not changing rotation, we're not changing anything, we're just setting this. And on 4 we want to set overlay tag to nothing, just to show you how to disable it and enable it. So this will be overlays, and we need to do one more thing. Yeah, we want to take our rifle and say set visibility. So basically, if we are in Locomotion Pro, visibility is none. If we are in the rifle pose, we see this, but only if, let's take our animation master, overlay pose, is gameplay valid branch. So if it's not valid, well, this will be set always, but this visible will be set only if this gameplay tag is not valid. Okay. Visibility of the rifle, and want to add one more mesh, and want to add our hand cannon. Okay, so to find it as an asset, here it is. Go back here, add component, add. We can name it whatever we want, and I think it has already, yeah, it has already anim graph, that is weapons anim graph. So this way it will play the idle animation that we need, and we want to parent it not to none, but to our virtual bone gun. Okay, and it looks goofy here right now because it is not in proper place now, but it will once we switch to proper pose. And we want to say visible no. And now we go into event graph and say hand cannon set visibility. Okay. So if we press 3, it is visible. If you press 4, it's not visible. And yeah. Okay, so I guess this should be working now, but it won't change much yet. We have to go back. Like we have this overlay, and that's everything we're doing here. So we go back to our main graph, which is here. And we need to go into overlay, and from conduit we need to add a new state, which will be called hand cannon. need linked anim graph, which is hand cannon overlay. And now we have this in pose inside this this node, and we can say base pose is our in pose. Compile, save. Okay. Can enter transition. Oh, okay. So here, can enter transition. We go here and we say overlay pose is exactly this tag, and we want to have a return saying is exactly not this tag. And the blend here, by the way, is it's not going to be inertialized. There's no need to do that. It's actually even better to just leave it as it is, either Hermit-Cupid or even linear. This is fine. So we have those poses, and now we are actually using this one by tag. So let's hit play. And now if I press 1, the rifle disappears. So it's no longer hanging by our hand. 2, it appears. 1, 2, 1. Okay, and if I press now 3, now I have my first person animations blended on top of it, of the animations that I have. If I press now 2, so the rifle pose, I will switch the base pose 1 and 2, but I will still blend those first person animations on top of it. However, you can see that I have a new problem. I do not have an aim offset because my aim offset was done totally on the base pose, and now it's nowhere to be found. If I press 4, I didn't go back from the transition, so there's something wrong. Let's see here, and let's check here. Not okay. Okay, I think I know what it is. What we need to say is a valid gameplay tag. And we would say not or. Okay, it should be nor. I think, let's see, hit 3, hit 4. Oh, it's still not going away. That's interesting. Okay, what did we do wrong? 4. Oh, okay, this is exactly what we did wrong. It's just nothing, it has to be empty. Okay, 3, 4, 3, 4. Okay, that works. And also this is definitely here, because rifle has to disappear when this is visible. Okay, and if it appears, it's a separate thing. Okay, so let's go back here and let's look. 2, 1, 3. Okay, 2. We now have different pose, so you can see that there is a difference. Not much though. And now 4. Okay, and we're back to our previous animations. But our gun disappeared, but doesn't matter. What matters is that our overlay, we can activate it and deactivate it. So if I go into first person, I don't have aim offset, but I now have proper hands animation. Okay. So now what we need to do is go to our core graphs, so the Rifle Pro base, This one has this really nice aim offset, which is procedural aim offset, and this one that is not procedural, right? So what we are aiming at is that we want to have aim offset actually done after this blend is being done. Oh, and by the way, if this blend, oh yeah, that doesn't matter. So suppose, yeah. So what we want to do is that we want to do aim offset after this blend. So we need aim offset to be done here. So to make it as simple as we can, how to do it? Well, first of all, we know that this works absolutely fantastic for the first person one, and this works for third person one. Okay. Okay, aim offset, what does it do? Okay, it doesn't do much. Okay, so we're going to work with this one, except for now it's just empty. Compile, save, and we go back here and say link anim graph, and we're going to say aim offset, and we're going to link it here, and it has variable aim offset which we want to add. Final aim offset, here we go. Okay, we need to add some extra variables here. So aim type, aim offsets, which is non, aim, and look. So those two, we want to have different behavior on aim and on look. And now, what else do we need? Let me think. Okay, the aim up, obviously, which is just a float. And we need is first person, which is a bool value. Okay, so we just need those four, I guess. Let's go back here, expose all, and we need aim offset type, aim up, and first person. Okay, we got everything here. Now what we need, so you go here into the rifle and we say, okay, so this is what we need for our, let's go here. So this is what we need for our first person. Okay, so we go here, say blend by bool, and we can't link this one. Yeah, we can't link this one. Okay. So first of all, if we are first person true, then we do this, except that this goes later. If we are first person true, we want to do this. And input pose, we need to save pose, call it input pose, because we will need to use it multiple times. So it goes here. And now here, oh, we have the, not this one, catch the input pose. Okay, this one. So we got first person aim offset covered. So now if we are not in first person, we need to do some different stuff. So we want to take our aim offset type and say blend, pose by aim offset type, and we now can right click and say none, aim, and look. So by none it will be very easy. This is none, and this is also default. Aim and look will be different, because for look we'll just go into, where's our files, we'll go into Locomotion Pro, because this aim offset that we have here, this look around, as additive animation, it looks absolutely fantastic on anything you use. So because it's not a lot of movement, if you apply it to rifle pose or something, it will still look very good. So let's go and just take it as is, copy it, go here, paste it, and say this is look. Input catched pose. So we got look, and for aim, well, for aim we have a problem, because we should probably go to Rifle Pro and just use this that I created and didn't use, because this is procedural and it uses our blending aim offset, but it doesn't look good when the aim exceeds 90 degrees. But we can do something about it as well. Okay, go here, paste it, and we can say, we can always clamp it. And we can clamp both of those. No. Yeah, by -90 to 90. So this is X, it goes here, and this is Y, it goes here. Okay, this will be less confusing. Okay, so now we have procedural, and one aim offset. Okay, and now we have this leg IK. And R and L, this is, yeah, I think that's fine. And those are foot. So we can just use it here. Or we can use it somewhere else, but we'll just use it here. Okay. Okay. Compile, save, and let's see. Final aim offset. Oh yeah, so get, split, goodbye. And get, split. Okay. Invalid field first person. Oh, okay. It was here probably. Okay, I don't really get this. Like, this is set fine. This is fine. It was probably here, so it was changed back to default, which is exactly what we need. So this goes by 5, by -5, and this one as well. So let's go back into Rifle Pro. Yeah, I don't really get it. Let's save everything and this should work. It's first person. And we always do this like IK. Okay, so now we have to also do one more thing. We have to go into our Rifle Pro and we have to no longer use this aim offset. What we need to do is just say this final pose is just our final pose and we're not doing any of those blends no more. So it goes here and all this is no longer used. I'm not removing it yet, but normally if you make a project that is commercial project, you do not keep old code. If something is no longer used and you know it's no longer used, you delete it. Okay, and one last part is here. We no longer need here the slot and we don't need this, and it's just this. Final pose. We don't even need this anymore. We could just link it directly, but just keep it as is. Standing, we can do it like this. Make it simpler. Okay, let's test it now. Let's go back to our core. So we got this link, the Anim graph. Okay, it should work right now, I suppose. So now, now we don't have any aim offset, I guess. Okay, of course we don't have any aim offset. How could we if in our graph we did specify all those variables. Let's see, maybe it has something to do with this broken stuff. Doesn't expose, add to existing component space here. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Split. So this goes to the top one. Goes to the bottom, right? Bottom one. And pick a bone. Okay, but this one works. So I guess I have to just do it like this. Okay. And now for some reason it works. Okay. A lot less errors. So you can yeah, it's exactly the same. Only difference is that we're just doing aim up, which is y-axis, so it's the roll. Okay, maybe it was all those warnings and errors, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, kind of. Like if we go here, that kind of works. Okay, one more thing, that if we are, so it does work. It was this was the problem, like those nodes were not functioning properly, but now they do. So this aim type, we have to take it here and say select, or you know what, is equal aim. Then we want to do this, but because if it's not, it doesn't really matter for us. So I hit 1, now I have proper aim offset. Two. Okay. I'm still looking, so it's getting out of hand really fast. Okay. Okay, one more thing. We go to our aim offset. So this leg IK, we're going to do one more thing. We're going to go to our character and we're going to attach everything, every of our guns, not to VD gun, but instead to IK hand gun. Instead of using the IK hand retargeting that we would normally use without virtual bones, everything we need to do is just copy our virtual bone gun into IK hand gun, and then just use standard leg IK for hands and legs. So I haven't done anything else, just those two bones makes all the IK work. So now if I hit play, let's show it here, make it larger, now our aim offset is working properly, and this is the procedural one. I mean, it can be a bit exceeding at some angles. But if I eject and I follow the camera here, you can see the character is still holding the gun properly, only based on IK. So nothing else have changed. So this is our character. And if I press 3, now I have the first person animations blend on top. And this is how they act. If I go into first person, this is what I get. And it doesn't matter if I'm in the rifle pose, so 2 or 1. Okay. Okay, so this is the normal pose. And this is the rifle pose. The gun stays where it should be. So this way our aim offset node is also our IK node. So actually calling it animation blueprint aim offset is not fully what it does, because it does a lot more. So we can actually go here, close it and rename it, and we'll call it animation blueprint. I don't know what, let's just leave it as is. Doesn't really matter how we call it, but we could just call it like something in regards IK. I don't have any good idea right now, so we'll just leave it as this. Okay, so now we know how to blend animations. We can hit 3 and we have this pose. And let's see how it looks like in multiplayer. As clients of a dedicated server. I need this guy here. F11, you just move around here and just look. And this guy will go into first person. It comes down to aim offset, nothing really changed, everything works fine. And now if I press 3, okay, yeah, obviously the guns didn't appear and disappear because I haven't done it in multiplayer, but my procedural aim offset works. Quite well. But the pose is a bit awkward. I wonder why that is. Let's try something and let's go into our oh yeah, I forgot. Valid check. That solves all our problems. Okay, dismiss. So now going back into one standalone. So what do we want to do now? Oh yeah, sure. We want to go to our overlays. We want to go to our hand cannon. And let's go to a linked graph. And maybe let's make this a bit different. Let's say that we could even go as far as 6. Or I'm wondering, do we really need this pose at all? Don't we just need the IK? What happens if we just remove this one entirely? Okay, this will happen. So we cannot do that entirely, I guess, because now if we hit 3, oh wait, I need to be in this viewport to hit 3 and F8. Okay, so yeah, now that will happen. Sure thing, but if we also add head blend F0, this will happen. So let's see now. Play 3. Ooh, interesting. If I go into first person. Okay, but I don't have my hands animations. So let's say we want more than that. Let's say we want head and hands. So spine 0, 1 and blend F would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is 5 and 6. And 7. Huh, interesting. Let's test it now. Okay, so I am now holding it badly, but if I go back to 5, yeah, everything seems proper. Interesting. And how's my back position? It's a bit more, but okay, let's try one more thing. What if we say that this will do hand R and hand L and head everything at 0. Okay, so it's just this, just hands and just the head. Interesting. It actually works. Like this is just getting my hand out too much, and now it's taking the full pose that I had. So we're going to, oh, okay. Let's see it here. Oh, F8, 3, F8. Oh, he doesn't even reach that far. Funny, okay. Maybe that was a bad pose. Maybe this way. F8. Now he doesn't reach with the second hand, but his general silhouette is not bad. F8, C, okay, F8. Okay, that actually looks good. So with this IK setup, all I have to do is just blend hands and head and nothing more. The rest of the posture can be taken from something else. So I can go here or here. Okay, but now I have this problem. That the IK is not able to handle everything all the time. Okay, that was a nice try, but I don't think this will be enough. So just delete those. Say spine 01, 5. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, it doesn't really breaks our posture that much. It's not bad. You could probably do better with some extra IK in third person, but this is designed for first person. So if we go back into our rifle, it still works in third person as designed for third person when we don't have any overlays. Actually fine. Okay, let's go back here and let's work on this overlay. So right now it's only idle. We want to do some more stuff to it, obviously. So what we want is create some blend spaces. So let's go here, animation, blend space, 1D. And this one is for hand cannon, and we'll call it hand cannon walking. and this one will have not much to it really. Idle and interpolation speed 0.2, blend weight 4, and oh okay, I messed up. Let's delete this one. Again, animation, blend space 1D, and it's obviously mannequin skeleton, hand cannon walking, and hand cannon walking will have idle 1.24, and now walk, or know what, let's make it 4, and sprint. Or not. Velocity, and it will be from 0 to 360, and we're going to use it here. So hand cannon walking, promote to variable velocity, yes, compile, save, go to our core and expose velocity. Okay, we got velocity now, play, 3, so now, okay, that's a bit slow, why? Oh, it's 2, not 0.2, that's maybe why. Okay. Okay, but this is sprinting animation. We don't want it actually to happen here. What we want to happen here is this walk animation. So we'll just delete this one, move this one here, say 1. And this is not 360, it's 120. You know what? Let's make it 360. Let's make this walk animation. Where is it? Walk. 3. Walk. And this one will be play scale 2. That might be too much. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's definitely too much. And what if it's not? What if it's just 1? Okay, it's a bit off when it comes down to footsteps, so let's say that we want it to be scaled, but not that much, 1.5. Let's see. Oh, it actually, the hand sway is in sync with footsteps, so that looks a lot better. Okay, why is that? Oh, okay. Where's the idle? Let's go here, see it again. It has some subtle movements to it. Looks pretty good. Okay, so we got this one done. Let's go back to our overlay. So now what we want to also do is blend by bool and select animation based on a bool value, which is called ADS. So aim down the side, okay? So if it's false, we go with this one. If it's true, we want the second one. And, underscore blend space 1D. Okay, and now duplicate it, and this one will be called hand canal walking ADS. Okay, and here we have hand cannon idle ADS. Okay, it's here, and I think there is ADS walking. Fire ADS walk. Yeah, there it is. ADS walk rate 1.5. Okay, that's fine. Save. Do we need anything else? Like the idle is very shaky. Let's move it here. And let's make a copy of this idle animation. So let's find it. Idle ADS. Yeah, it's too shaky for ADS. Let's make a copy of it and say underscore single frame. And for this single frame, we're going to do exactly what we do. So remove all the frames and just leave single frame. And now let's go back. Let's go back here. Single frame goes here. Save. Okay. And now hand cannon ADS. And also velocity doesn't change anything. And let's just test it for now with the ADS animation. So we go here. Okay, so this is ADS when we're not moving. It's just perfectly there. And when we are moving with ADS, small movements, running with ADS. Okay, it works as intended. So we got this. Now we have to be able to set ADS as a variable, right? So to do that, we go back to our mocap core, go here, expose more variables, ADS, make a new variable, ADS, and now we have to set ADS in event graph. We're going to set ADS. So this is, what is this? Okay. Collapse nodes, and this will be FPP stuff. So this is a custom first person perspective stuff. And now what we need to do is we have to say tag container, or let's just find it here. Where is it? Modification tags, and say has tag. And we need to make this tag. So we go here, blueprints, here, and we make a new tag. And this one will be called animation modifier ADS. And you know what? We already can make another one, which will be called animation dot modifier dot sprint. Animation modifier sprint. Okay, save it. And we can say, does it have animation modifier ADS? Come out to variable. Set ADS. And then we can say has tag sprint, and promote to variable sprinting. We can just set those and collapse this and call it set variables by tags. Okay, we are now setting those two variables. We go back here and we already have this pushed to our subgraph. So now how to add ADS? It will be very simple. So when we are holding right mouse button, we'll take our animation master and we'll say anim tags, add tag, remove tag, right? So we just say add tag and remove tag. And this tag is ADS. So if this tag is not being handled by the animation graph, it doesn't do anything. So for our third-person perspective animations, it will not change anything. So if I play now with my rifle and I hold right mouse button, I have just different behavior of the camera. If I hit 3 and I go into first person, oh, nothing happens. I wonder why. Let's debug this. Let's go back here. Let's go into event graph. And let's print string ADS, and let's print it for 0, so just one frame. This way we'll see what's the value right now. False, true, false, true. Okay, first person, false. Oh, okay. I wonder why. Oh, okay, that's why. Okay, so if we are first person, then add tag, and if we are first person, add tag. Yeah, I'll just leave it here. Okay, so this will now ADS only in first person. So let's hit play. Doesn't change anything. 3 doesn't change anything. But if I go into first person, now I can change this value and I can blend animations based on this tag. Okay, so what else can we do? We already said sprinting, right? So we can do exactly the same thing. Just add and remove tags by, let's say, left shift. This will add tag and remove tag. And this one will be not ADS, it will be sprint, and this one will be sprint. Okay. So now we can go into our hand cannon. This is just walking, but we might want to do something more. So let's make a state machine, and in this state machine we'll say hand cannon. We cut this, add state, walking, and just paste it. This is the default state, and we might want to add a state, say in air, and in air we might want to just do something different. We might want to use this ADS, and in air we might want to have idle hand cannon ADS and idle hand cannon this 0.25 0.25. This is linear. Okay, great. In air, and going back. Not. And we can also go to state called, oh, you know what, it will be part of walking, so it will go here, state machine, grounded state, this goes into a default one. And this can go into sprint and back again. Sprint. Sprint not. This go back and forth, just like that. We can say that it's inertialization. This is our grounded state. This is our air state. Inertialization. Those are just idles. We don't have landed, but we could if we had proper animations. And this is the hand cannon. Okay, let's test it now. Let's hit play. First person, hand cannon, walking, ADS. Okay, that's a bit slow and it has to be a lot faster. So let's go here. Yeah, 0.1 was fine. Walking in air also 0.1. This is 0.2, that's fine. Sprinting, we need hand cannon sprint, and this one will have looping animations, play rate. Let's just expose it and let's say velocity by 360. Okay, let's see. Okay, walking, ADS, jump. Okay, I don't feel. Oh, okay, it's not set up yet. We have to go back to our main graph. We can disable this one. We go into hand cannon here and we need to expose everything and say inner, and sprint, we need to say sprint. Okay, now we are pushing the tags. Let's hit play. In air we go into basically idle. We go too fast. Let's see here in air, let's make those 0.25, and because they are inertialized we need to do inertialization here, otherwise it will break. Okay, let's test it again. Okay, a lot better. Let's sprint. Sprinting when idle. This is, by the way, a very cool pose, just to have it as weapon prepared or something. Letting go of shift, jumping and sprinting. It goes back into aiming. Okay, and everything is set up. So we got this weapon set up fairly easy and very fast. It just works. And yeah, now we can set up all the other weapons, and then I will show you how to run montages on them so that you can run firing animations that are in sync with the gun and reload animations for this entire pack, and then we'll test everything in multiplayer. Yeah, thanks for listening. See you guys soon.